Silence is often overlooked, underappreciated, and misunderstood, yet it holds a power that has changed the course of history, saved relationships, and transformed chaotic moments into peaceful resolutions. In today's fast-paced world, where every second is filled with noise, tweets, and constant chatter, the ancient wisdom of Stoicism teaches us something profoundly different. The Stoics, like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius, saw silence not just as a lack of noise, but as a strategic tool, a way to calm the mind, gain clarity, and respond with grace under pressure. Today, we're going to explore how embracing silence can elevate your life, helping you make smarter decisions, build stronger relationships, and maintain your inner peace amidst the chaos of everyday life. Silence, in its purest form, can be a sanctuary. It's a space where the mind can retreat, gather its thoughts, and emerge with a renewed sense of purpose. When the world around us is noisy and chaotic, it's easy to get swept up in the external clamor. But the Stoics believed that silence offers a refuge, a place where we can disconnect from the external and reconnect with our inner selves. This silence is not about the absence of sound. It's about creating a space where we can reflect and gain perspective. In the face of unfair criticism, for instance, silence can be a powerful response. It's easy to feel hurt or defensive when someone criticizes us, especially if the criticism feels unjust. The instinctive reaction might be to lash out, to defend ourselves, or to argue back. However, the Stoics teach us that our true power lies not in controlling external events or opinions, but in mastering our own reactions. By choosing silence, we create a space between the stimulus and our response, a space where we can reflect, assess the situation, and decide on the most constructive way to respond. Consider the words of Marcus Aurelius. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This quote encapsulates the essence of Stoic wisdom. By choosing to pause and embrace silence, we are not showing weakness, we are strategically harnessing our energy, focusing on what can be learned from the critique and discarding the rest. This approach allows us to transform a potentially negative experience into an opportunity for growth and self-improvement. Furthermore, silence can help us build stronger relationships. In a world where everyone seems eager to share their opinions, boasting about their achievements or criticizing others, the ability to remain silent and listen can be a rare and valuable trait. When surrounded by boasting, for example, it can be overwhelming to hear people trying to one-up each other with tales of their latest great achievements. Stoic wisdom offers a refreshing perspective here. Epictetus, another great thinker, taught that external displays of success don't reflect true happiness or self-worth. Imagine you're at a gathering where someone is endlessly bragging about their latest promotion or exotic vacation. In such moments, Stoicism encourages us to embrace the power of silence. By not engaging in this competitive exchange, you can conserve your energy and maintain focus on your own values and goals. Silence in this context isn't about submission. It's about choosing not to let external noise disrupt your internal peace. This practice does more than just keep you calm. It also allows you to be seen as someone who is secure in their achievements and not easily swayed by others' displays of wealth or status. Silence can be a profound response, a way to cultivate an aura of confidence and self-assurance. When we respond with a nod or a smile, gracefully steering the conversation away or keeping quiet, we are not just avoiding unnecessary conflict. We are also reinforcing our commitment to living a life rooted in meaningful values. This approach helps us navigate boastful situations with grace and dignity, allowing us to focus on what truly enriches our lives: personal growth, inner peace, and genuine relationships, rather than superficial achievements. Dealing with anger is another area where silence can be transformative. Anger is one of life's greatest challenges. It can erupt suddenly like a storm that sweeps through, disrupting our peace and leading us to react in ways we might later regret. Stoic philosophy, with its deep roots in mastering self-control, offers a unique approach to managing such fiery emotions. Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." His words ring especially true when it comes to anger. Imagine you're at work, and a project you've poured hours into gets criticized unfairly. The instinct might be to lash out, to defend your work heatedly. But what if instead you chose to pause and embrace silence? By not immediately reacting, you give yourself a moment to process the criticism, to separate the helpful feedback from mere negativity, and to respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. This pause, this moment of silence, acts as a buffer, shielding you from reacting in a way that might harm professional relationships or your own credibility. Stoicism teaches us that this kind of silence isn't passive, it's a form of active engagement. You're actively choosing not to let anger control you. You're deciding to reflect, to understand the root of your anger, and to respond in a way that aligns with your best self. The power in this practice lies in its ability to transform potentially destructive energy into something constructive. It's about recognizing that while we can't control what others say or do, we can control our reaction to them. And in this control lies our peace and power. Silence can also be a powerful tool in dealing with unfounded rumors. Rumors, especially, those not based on truth, can swirl around like a storm, threatening to upset your peace and disrupt your life. But here's where Stoic wisdom really comes into its own. Marcus Aurelius advised, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed." The injury. Think about that for a moment. What if, instead of rushing to counter or dispute every rumor, you simply lived in a way that disproved them? Imagine you hear a rumor that questions your commitment or integrity. The immediate reaction might be to start defending yourself vigorously, to clarify the misunderstandings to everyone. However, Stoicism invites us to choose a different path: silence and integrity. By not engaging directly with the rumors, you don't fuel them. You give them less air to breathe, less room to grow. This approach doesn't mean you accept the rumor or that you're resigned to its consequences. Instead, it means you trust in the truth and in the people who truly know you. You focus on continuing to act with integrity and let your actions speak louder than words. Choosing silence in the face of rumors is an act of strength and self-assurance. It demonstrates a deep commitment to Stoic principles, focusing on what you can control, your actions and responses, rather than what you cannot control, like the gossip of others. This path teaches us resilience and offers a calm harbor in the tumultuous seas of social interactions. So the next time you find yourself amidst rumors, remember that sometimes the most powerful response is cultivated silence, allowing your true character to shine through, dispelling falsehoods without a word. Dealing with personal loss is perhaps one of the most profound challenges we face in our lives. Whether it's the loss of a loved one, the end of a relationship, or even the loss of a cherished dream, each brings a profound sense of grief and emptiness. Here, the Stoic approach can offer not just comfort, but a powerful framework for processing and understanding our pain. Stoicism teaches us that everything in life is temporary and that our reactions to the inevitable losses we experience are within our control. Consider the Stoic philosopher Seneca, who wrote extensively on the nature of loss and grief. He suggested that while we cannot control what happens to us, we can control how we respond to these events. Imagine you've lost someone important to you. The initial reaction might be an overwhelming sadness or a feeling of being lost yourself. However, By applying Stoic principles, you can start to view this loss from a different perspective. Instead of only feeling the void left behind, you can choose to reflect on the gratitude for the time and experiences you shared with that person. This process involves embracing the silence that comes with loss. Instead of filling every moment with distractions to avoid the pain, Stoic wisdom encourages us to sit with our grief, to understand it, and to let it teach us. Silence becomes a space for reflection, allowing us to process our emotions deeply and to emerge from the experience with a greater appreciation of life's fragility and beauty. Handling personal loss stoically doesn't mean suppressing your emotions. Rather, it's about observing them without letting them overwhelm you. It's about finding a balance, allowing yourself to mourn and feel pain, but also recognizing when those emotions are leading you away from the path of healing and growth. The Stoic approach to loss helps us build emotional resilience, enabling us to face the future with a renewed sense of strength and purpose. So, when you encounter personal loss, remember that your response to it defines the path forward. By adopting a Stoic mindset, you can find meaningful ways to cope with grief, using it as a catalyst for personal transformation and a deeper understanding of the impermanent nature of life. Navigating through situations rife with ignorance requires not just patience, but a particular grace, one that Stoicism equips us to embody. Ignorance, whether it's in the form of uninformed opinions or misinformed assertions, often tests our ability to maintain composure and act with integrity. Marcus Aurelius once pointed out that we should act so that the effects of our actions are not destructive to our harmony with the world. This is a powerful reminder that our reactions should bring us closer to peace rather than conflict. Let's consider a scenario where you encounter someone asserting facts that are clearly wrong or sharing opinions that are uninformed. The instinct might be to correct them outright, to bring truth to ignorance immediately. However, Stoicism teaches us to approach such situations differently. Instead of confronting ignorance with direct opposition, which can lead to defensiveness or even conflict, Stoicism encourages a response that is measured and thoughtful. Choosing silence here doesn't mean you're conceding to ignorance. It means you're selecting the most strategic moment to engage. Sometimes, silence allows the other person to reflect on their own words and realize their mistake without you needing to point it out. It's about picking your battles wisely and knowing when speaking up will truly serve a purpose and when it might simply lead to unnecessary friction. This approach cultivates patience and understanding, two qualities that are essential for navigating a world where ignorance can often seem overwhelming. When confronted with injustice, it's natural to feel a surge of anger or a deep sense of unfairness, emotions that can drive us to react swiftly and sometimes harshly. But Stoicism offers a different path, one that advocates for a thoughtful, measured response even in the face of wrongdoing. Stoic philosophers like Epictetus remind us that it's not the external events themselves that disturb us, but our judgment about them. This perspective is crucial when dealing with injustice, as it compels us to focus not only on the immediate harm but also on the broader implications of our reactions. Imagine you witness or experience an injustice in your community or workplace. The immediate impulse might be to protest loudly, to confront the perpetrator, or to seek rectification without pause. While these actions are often necessary, Stoicism teaches us to first pause and reflect. This reflection period allows us to consider the most effective way to address the injustice. It's about responding in a manner that aligns with your values and principles rather than reacting out of anger or frustration. Silence, in this context, is not about inaction. It's about creating the mental space to craft a response that is thoughtful and constructive. It's about ensuring that your actions contribute to a solution rather than exacerbating the problem. When surrounded by boastful claims, it's easy to get swept up in the tide of competitive chatter or feel the pressure to match or surpass others' achievements. In these moments, Stoic teachings offer a grounding perspective. The Stoics, like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius, emphasized the value of internal virtue over external validation. They encouraged us to maintain our integrity and focus on our personal journey rather than being swayed by the fleeting accolades others may seek. Consider a situation where colleagues or friends are loudly sharing their successes, perhaps embellishing their stories to gain admiration. The Stoic approach isn't to challenge or one-up them, but to listen quietly and reflect inwardly. This is an opportunity to practice humility and gratitude. Humility in recognizing that life's most meaningful accomplishments often go unspoken, and gratitude for the personal journey that has brought you to this point. In the midst of boasting, silence can be a powerful reminder to yourself of what truly matters. It's a moment to reaffirm your commitment to living a life of purpose, where your actions are driven by internal values rather than external recognition. This silence is not a withdrawal, but a strategic decision to remain centered, to avoid the distractions of comparison, and to stay focused on your path. Responding to insults with grace and composure is perhaps one of the most practical and challenging applications of Stoic philosophy. When we are insulted, our natural inclination is to react defensively, to retaliate, or to feel hurt. But Stoicism teaches us a different approach, seeing the opportunity for growth and self-reflection in these uncomfortable moments. When someone hurls an insult our way, it's an invitation to practice this Stoic principle. Instead of reacting impulsively, we can choose to pause and reflect. This moment of pause is crucial. It gives us the chance to step back and assess the situation objectively. Often, insults say more about the person who delivers them than about the person receiving them. By choosing not to respond in kind, we maintain our dignity and demonstrate that our self-worth is not dependent on others' opinions. Stoicism encourages us to view insults as opportunities to strengthen our character. By not reacting, we show that we are not easily provoked, that we value our peace of mind over the fleeting satisfaction of a sharp retort. This approach transforms what could be a negative encounter into a moment of personal growth, where silence becomes a powerful shield against the emotional turmoil that insults can bring. Embracing Stoic principles isn't just about understanding philosophy, it's about living a life of purpose and peace. Thank you for joining me today on this journey through the Stoic Journal. If you found value in our discussion, consider watching one of the suggested videos on your screen to continue exploring how Stoicism can transform your daily life. Thank you for being part of this thoughtful community. Until next time, remember that true strength lies in our response to life's challenges.